Hey guys, it's Sammy Jacks. Today we're going to hop in the Sammy Jacks time machine and go back to the Seminole Mall in Seminole, Florida. Seminole was incorporated in the 1970s in this actual mall, which is mind-blowing. In this picture, you'll see the Woolco in the background. That eventually became a Kmart. The rest of that area there became the food court. Isn't that crazy? And after the Woolco closed, it was actually split up into two stores. One was a J. Byron's, and I can't remember the other. But the anchor store was eventually brought back to one piece as a Kmart. And the Kmart was a really big Kmart, and it had a really big restaurant inside. I used to go there Sunday mornings, so you could get a big breakfast for like $2.25. It had like bacon, egg, ham, and you get a cup of coffee. You really couldn't beat it. It was good value. This mall concourse here actually looked pretty similar for the entire life of the mall. It eventually had new tile and new paint. Besides that, everything looks identical. Not much changed in this mall, which is probably why it became a dead mall. If you don't invest in things, you don't get anything out of it. It takes money to make money. Remember that. It's a true saying. For whatever reason, the old Seminole Mall website is still there. I don't understand. Who's paying for this? They're probably paying for it, but it's still there. It's kind of weird, and it's still got the same phone number. Same hours. I don't know. And here you can see the old layout of the mall. There used to be a Publix here, but Publix eventually moved across the street when Albertsons moved out of Florida, because across the street it was a different city, and they didn't have to pay the same tax. It was cheaper to move across the street. Even though they had a nicer store by Seminole Mall, they still moved into the old Albertsons. There was a bunch of anchor stores. There was a movie theater in the back. It was actually quite a nice mall. It just never kept up with the times. Okay, so this used to be the Kmart. I took this video back in 2015, so this was just after it closed, I believe. You can see the huge parking lot, and then you see the garden section. And now we're heading over to the indoor part of the garden section. It was a really big store. You gotta imagine, it used to be a Woolco, which were big stores. And this became a Kmart, which was a really big store. It had a pantry, had a big, the grocery section, the clothing section, the restaurant, the K-Cafe, the Little Caesars Pizza, popcorn. It was a grand Kmart. It was really cool. So we're going to take a walk around back to the Kmart Auto Repair Center. Now the cool thing about this was you can see there's at least 7 bays at this place. So that'd be places for 7 different cars to go into to get repaired. Can you imagine how many tires, how many oil changes they did when this place was busy? I mean, it's pretty big. I can just imagine. And on the other side, when you're in here, you could go from there and you'd go to the other side and you're pretty much at the K-Cafe. It's very cool layout. So instead of waiting inside of a waiting room at an auto repair place, you're inside the K-Cafe. And I always thought that was cool. Okay, and this is the front entrance to the mall. It's not the grandest, but it's pretty cool. It's the front entrance. Lots of glass. Looks like a typical mall. And now inside, look at this. Doesn't that just scream 1970s? Everything is closed. And there are people getting exercise in here. That's what dead malls are good for. Breathing in asbestos and getting exercise. GNC. Every dead mall. It won't be a dead mall without a GNC. So typically, it looks like the concourse I showed you in the picture earlier. It was remodeled in the 90s. This should scream the 90s at you. It's just so tacky and 90s. So eventually, all the anchor stores closed. Not anchor stores, just the national stores is what I'm thinking. The national stores closed, then a bunch of mom and pop stores moved in. There was a Steinmart. There were 2 Bells, a Bell's Outlet and a regular Bell's. Not to be confused with the Bell's that owns Gordman's up somewhere else. This is a different Bell's in Florida. And I used to go in this restaurant here. They had good breakfast. I think they might have had pizza too. There was a good pizza place in here. I can't picture where it was, but it was not Sparrow's. It was like Sarbados or something. And there was a Ross. I think that was Ross on the left. And then you'll see coming soon. So they did raise this place. They tore it all down and they did build what they had in that picture. Actually, I think what they built actually turned out better than what was in that. I'm not sure what was going on Thursday. Probably some kind of meeting or something. You'll see there's Steinmart. Steinmart did get a new store there. I think Bell's is the original store. They just left it when they tore down the mall. The movie theater that was there also got torn down, and they have a really nice new movie theater, which I have not been into, but it does look really nice in pictures. Now see, we're heading towards the Kmart area, which used to be the Woolco. And you'll see here's a bunch of abandoned kiosks in the middle. But I always thought this was fascinating right here because whatever used to be here, I guess they had meetings or something, but the city of Seminole was found in this spot. I guess they had a discussion, they got together and like, hey guys, let's have a city, let's be Seminole, let's be our own city in 1970. And there's a plaque, and I doubt that plaque's there now because it's probably a parking lot. But the historical significance of this area to the city was pretty crazy. Look at that neon light. That's actual neon light. Back right corner there was Kmart. I know we just zoomed by a little bit quick. And then you'll see there's these, I don't know, hot dog places. Weird. And there's a really strange hallway down there where the bathrooms were. Restrooms. Very creepy. And you'll see, yeah. Weird abandoned. I don't think I'd be comfortable eating in a place that looked like that. I don't know, maybe it's not dirty, but it looks dirty. And they did have free Wi-Fi, but they would not allow people to plug in their phones. I remember there were signs that said, do not use our electric. I'm not sure about your phone, but my phone doesn't use that much electric. It's not going to run up the electric bill at the mall. I mean, look at the vast wasteland. It could have become office space, could have become anything, but it actually became a nice outdoor mall. There's so many malls across the country like this, it's kind of mind-blowing. Look at the gumball machine. Does gum not expire in those machines? And some other food for thought. In the last bailout, malls were given, property managers, owners of malls were given a huge bailout. Like they're going to open malls or open them back up and make people come back in. Malls have been declining for 20 years. You've got to be kidding me. There's no way people are going to get back into malls when they weren't in them already. Malls are the thing of the 80s. They're done. Anyways, I did enjoy the Seminole Mall. I spent a lot of time there walking around. I'm not even sure why. There was another mall just north of here that looked quite similar called the Sunshine Mall. I have no video of that, but it does remind me of this mall. It was a 1960s mall. It was actually the first air-conditioned mall here, but it looked very similar to this one. So I always used to remember my childhood walking around these malls in the 80s. I can't believe that this place was still open with so few stores. They still let people go inside the mall. Unbelievable. I'm glad I had the chance to go inside here and get this video. This video is like old. It's old. And that store, Esquire, I guess that's a barber shop, but check that out. That's probably the original sign on that place. There was a bank. That might have been the bank. There was also lawyers' offices inside here. People started, you know, adopting to the new normal for this mall, which was not obviously for people. And I remember that was a phone store that was open at one point in time during my lifetime. Lots of table and chairs for absolutely nobody to sit at. Such a shame. No smoking, yet they have an ashtray. And there's a view of the map. So you can see Publix. Publix moved across the street so they didn't have to pay as much tax. Kmart in the top left. Steinmart. A lot of big stores there. Hard to believe it just died. But every mall eventually dies. Even if it was in no danger of dying, it's eventually gonna die. Things all come to an end. So does this video. So I hope you enjoyed my little tour of Seminole Mall. It's in pretty bad shape. I bet it was a grand time when it was open and having fun in there. They probably had all types of events, all types of fun gatherings until it was time to end. Bond Jewelers 007. I'm sure there's still, I recognize the names, probably still exists. It's just like they closed one day and never came back. Unbelievable. I can see my car there, the little blue car, that's the car I used to have. A Volvo XC70. My car's also dead, I wrecked it. Anyways, I'm Sammy Jacks. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out today. Subscribe, don't die unless you have to, and I'll talk to you next time.